guys? Josh Hartnett here with a crazy magic tutorial. If you guys like tutorials, you should hit the button. Hit the button that they all tell you to hit. So today I'm going to show you guys the Ed Marlow Die Vernon tilt. Actually, I should say the Die Vernon tilt, because even back in the day, you had old men squabbling over who came up with what move. In this particular case, it was Die Vernon who came up with the tilt, actually known as the depth illusion. And Ed Marlow said, hey, I'm going to come up with a move called the tilt. And then Ed Marlow realized Die Vernon came up with a move called the depth illusion, which was essentially the same shit, and had to squabble down and say, I'm sorry, David, you came up with the move first. You know, that's a little bit of a history lesson for you guys. But for you guys that don't know what the tilt looks like, here's what you do. You show a 5, and then you take it and you put it in the middle of the deck. You show the top card as not being a 5, but you snap your finger, and then the 5 jumps on top of the deck. And you could do this again. You could take the 5 and put it in the middle of the deck, snap your finger, and now the 5 is on top of the deck. Oh yeah, the anticipation is palpable. Sometimes I wonder why I still do this. So that was a very bare bones version of the tilt without any of the subtleties that I'm going to show you later on in this video, because we're going to cover later on how to make this from a very convincing illusion to an absolute fact that that card is supposedly going into the middle of the deck, which looks a little bit like that. Hey, and now the tilt move, for those of you guys that don't know, a basic summary is that you're going to show a card. In this case, it's going to be the King of Clubs. While you're showing this card, you're going to do the get ready for the tilt. Now, the get ready, I used to consider it just a pinky break, and that's when I was wrong. I subsequently learned that you need the whole entirety of the back of the top card to be exposed. So the way we do that is we're going to push with our thumb towards the right. You see the hotness here? We're going to push with our thumb towards the right, and we're going to bring it back having a pinky break. We're going to do the same actions of a pinky break. However, this time we're going to put a little bit of pressure with the ring finger on that pinky break, which is going to lift it up at the back and allow me to put a little bit of a gap here between the fatty part of my thumb and my pinky on the other side. So you see what's happening? I'm putting a little bit of pressure with my ring finger. That's going to lift up that card in the back, and that's going to get me ready for the insertion that's about to proceed. Yeah, so that's the first aspect of the move. This is, of course, happening as you're showing the card. You're saying, oh, yeah, so this is your card. It was very fairly selected, sir. Do you need any extra time memorizing it? Okay, you really need to remember what it is, because if not, this is going to be a very unimpressive illusion. You ready? Okay. Or whatever it takes to show that card while you're doing your get ready here. So this is the one-handed get ready. That's what's happening here. Usually you see this action where people are lifting up in the back and getting into the same position. I'm not a fan of that. I'm more of a fan of this subtle get ready as you're showing the card. It's more discreet. It's like CoverGirl, you know, for those of you guys that are familiar with makeup. It's like CoverGirl. So that's the first part of the tilt. The next part of the tilt is the depth illusion, which is going to happen because you are supposedly sticking this card in the middle of the deck. However, it's going in that little gap you created. But you see how it looks so good from this angle right here? It looks extremely good from this angle right here without any subtleties. So you don't necessarily need to do any subtleties for this to look good. But the subtleties are going to add just so much to it that you're going to do them every time. So that's the basic idea of the tilt. You're going to show the card, you're going to get that get ready, and then you're going to stick that card into that gap, supposedly going into the middle of the deck. Now, if you want, at this position, you could lift up a little bit and get your pinky in there. So now you have a pinky break, ready for a double lift, ready for your favorite double lift at this point. Or you could just square up the deck like this and then show the top card and say, see, look, the card's not on top. And as that's happening, you're getting ready for a double lift here by getting a pinky break. So now you could snap your fingers, do a double lift, and show that their card has jumped to the top of the deck. Whatever you want to do. But ultimately, you have a very clean control there that you could do to convincingly show the spectator that their card is supposedly going in the middle. But what are the improvements? I'll show you. Relax. Man, jeez, you guys are just racking up all the comments here. Hey, show me the convincers. So here are the little bit of convincers that you could do to make this move and take it to the next level. So the first thing you do, obviously, you're getting your get ready, right? So you have the gap, as it's called. And this is going to be the poke convincer here, the little bit of a poke convincer. So you're going to use the edge, the upper right edge of the king in this case, to poke cards in the middle. See, what this does is that this is going to shoot cards out from the front. Now, you don't want to do this too much. You just want to look like you're finding the right position. And after, I would say 2 pokes. 2 pokes, I think, is a good poke. So after you poke it twice, you're going to stick this edge into the gap that you've created. And now you're going to get into the same mechanics as a tilt. So what that does is that, of course, puts the card in the same position, but it gives more of a little bit of an illusion that you're fishing for a position in the deck before you stick it into the middle, supposedly. However, we know that it's going second. So that's one convincer here that you could add. There's another convincer, which I think adds 8 times credibility to the actual tilt or depth illusion itself. And the way that looks is you're going to do the same thing here. You're going to do the same situation where you're sticking it in there, but you're going to bend the card at the back like this. So you're going to bend it up before you stick it in. So this gives the unwavering illusion that that card is going into the middle of the deck. Look at that. Look at that shit. Even from there, look how good that looks. That looks like that card, without a question, is going right in the middle of the deck. But we know that that card, again, is going second from top. So one more time, you're not adding anything extra. You're doing the same situation as the tilt. The only difference is that you are pulling up on that card before you stick it in. That gives the unquestionable illusion that that card is going inside of the middle of the deck. However, it's going on top of the deck. Oh, wait, no, we need to snap first. Now it's on top of the deck. See, it's the wait for it. Oh, yeah. So a couple touches here. You want to be sure that your left thumb is as straight as possible in doing the move, because you don't want the situation to happen where you accidentally poke it from the side there, and then everyone becomes aware that you're sticking the card second from the top. So you want to make sure that your thumb is as straight as possible in the left edge of the deck as you do the tilt, because that is one of the places where they could see a little bit of a jiggery pokery going on. So you want to make sure that you cover your angle for that. Another hot tip, obviously, is to make the deck this sort of angle, so you don't have this situation showing. This would be the worst angle. You don't want this angle. If you do it from here, then you're giving a little bit of a tutorial. You're doing what I'm doing, right? But to them, you don't want to do that. So you want to obviously angle your body this way. And if you add that depth illusion, then you have the unwavering illusion that that card is going directly into the middle of the deck. So those are 2 hot tips on how to improve the tilt and make it a move that will definitely, no doubt, become the life of the party as a very convincing control, even though it's not the... So you guys practice that. You guys leave below in the comments what's your favorite word that begins with T. And I'm going to go figure out different ways to use fake Sbaiz to convince people that I have real Sbaiz.